Vamos falar com o Otto que a Marta sumiu. Vamos lá. Pera.
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastport, the Empire's been tightening its grip around the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. I know it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should help speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
Fechou. Encontres, rompe, maldição. O que é isso aqui? Ah, tá.
My favorite pupil. What is it that you wish to learn?
A situação do reino. Falando com Vivian na sala do mapa do esconderijo, Clive pode saber mais sobre a situação do reino e o que anda acontecendo em Valistia, revisitar as edições anteriores da 9 contos e analisar o relacionamento dos indivíduos que cercam. Tá. Deixa eu ver.
Here's the latest information I have.
Aqui você pode ver em detalhes as relações entre os personagens de Final Fantasy atualizadas conforme você avança na missão principal. Use L1 e R1 para alternar entre momentos importantes da aventura de Clive. Voz interior, uma nova funcionalidade está disponível ao apertar, visualizar o mapa da Vivian. Voz interior fornece uma vislumbre do que pensam Clive e as pessoas que o ajudam em sua jornada. Após abrir o recurso, selecione um personagem. Tá.
Study it well, Clive.
Aqui você pode ver em detalhes eventos do presente e do passado. Tá.
The state of the realm is ever changing, Clive.
Encontre-os, rompe maldição. Ah, tá, é ali. Beleza. Aqui já tem uma missãozinha? Não, mas... O refeitório... Tá, vamos lá. Vamos pro repouso da Marta.
What happened here?
Come on. We need to find the others.
Fucking Imperials.
Best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
Let's get you to a physical.
shall we?
I'm sorry. I think I twisted something.
Sid?
Desembucha.
What said you'd be coming?
I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials ascended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all our efforts got her were a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey, sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards. Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
We will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about a culling. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
Pode deixar que a gente vai tocar o terror agora.
Cole is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Hey? What?
Meu doguinho não tá com a gente? Ah, tá aqui. Você aparece do nada. Tá, vamos pela esquerda.
Look. Up ahead. Arthur, are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields.
The bastards caught wind. The Abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds. Poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then, they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
Não demora pra voltar, não.
Black Shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There has only ever been one Order of Shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all her citizens.
Seems a step too far, even for the Empire.
Bora, gente, bora, bora, bora. Partiu. Gente caída aqui.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
Puta que merda.
No.
Damn it.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned. That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them.
Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offense.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law. To dwell in darkness that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these our swords we swear.
How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
Clive.
This won't take long.
Mano.
Is that all of them?
I think so.
Missão concluída. O tempo está fechando. Opa, subir de nível? Boa. O alento do vento diminui o tempo de recarga de laceração em 2 segundos.
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
Vamos aqui atrás, filha. Vem cá.
The abbot.
Aí é foda.
The bearers died protecting him. Calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
They are. Every last one.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The cuttings will continue. Rosaria will never be safe unless we save her. Tell Mother to beg Sil's aid and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
Sil, where are you? Sil!
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive. He's gone.
Tá foda, hein?
We've laid the abbot to rest. But the bearers... they didn't need to die like this.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice. They knew the fate that awaited them and chose to meet it on their terms, fighting for those who fought for them.
Martha said they rose from their beds, threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearers' remains. we should consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Radix jump. The currents there are swift. If the abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
Lá para o salto do Ridok, que é seguindo reto e descendo. Por aqui não, mas deixa eu pegar só isso aqui. Que isso? Já vê isso. Ameaças notórias. De vez em quando o Clive pode se deparar com criaturas maiores, mais rápidas e mais ferozes do que o normal. Derrotá-las pode render, além de renome, materiais raros que podem ser usados para criar novos equipamentos e melhorar itens existentes. Você pode obter informações adicionais sobre as ameaças notórias, como Monga, esconderijo e Neta.
You think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball.
Derrotou uma ameaça notória.
You didn't see that coming.
Parece o Suezo do Monster Ranger. Bora. Ó.
That must be the bridge.
Deixa eu só ver o que tem aqui antes.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
I hope so. What of the Imperials?
Empire was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
Isso daqui já foi, agora podemos voltar. Vamos ver se a gente encontrar alguma coisa pela frente. Mas acho que a gente já derrubou tudo, né? Tudo e todos. Um item ali.
Too slow.
Fechou, é tudo coisa que a gente já tinha já, né? Vambora então.
Look sharp! They call themselves our country.
O que é isso aqui?
How do?
Isso aqui é pra gente comprar.
Very well.
No one survived then.
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire. Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
Unpicking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse breakers.
Libertação. Volte para o esconderijo. Uma nova missão está disponível ali. Tá. O que eu quero fazer? Deixa eu ver se já tenho ponto suficiente. Ainda não. Ainda não tenho. Então. Vou fazer o mesmo esquema. Depois eu deixo as missões secundárias. Vou que se chegar alguma missão que não dê pra voltar novamente, ele avisa pelo menos. Bom, vamos para o esconderijo.
Where's Gav?
I hear there's trouble.
Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the Mother Crystals.
Ó, deu uma decisão agora eu gostei.
4 Mother Crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rosfield.
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rosfield. And you're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune, along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
Então vai ter mais porrada. Senhor Karim. A bancada do alto já está aberta. Novos recursos. Seguintes recursos estão disponíveis agora. Relatórios, aliados, sussurro do benfeitor, quadro de caçada. Todos estão localizados perto de Otto no refeitório. Renome. Concluir missões secundárias disponíveis nos relatórios de alianças. Ameaças notórias listadas. Aumenta. Inspira benfeitores anônimos. Fale com Desirê. Um sussurro do benfeitores no esconderijo para ver o nível do renome atual e aceitar as doações disponíveis. Ok.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
Realmente, o que estamos esperando? Estamos esperando nada, vamos embora. Cadê? Só deixa eu ver uma coisa, Clive. O que temos aqui? Tem a biblioteca e o refeitório, relatório, sussurro, a situação do reino. Os frutos do trabalho. Não faço a menor ideia. O que tem aqui?
Everyone used to live in the sky. Where did they keep their fish?
My knowledge is yours. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
Ah, ele atualiza, é verdade.
I have quite the find for you today.
Tá.
What subject shall we consider today?
Deixa aí. Então vamos lá até... Qual que é o nome do lugar? Penhasco do Canto do Falcão. Usar a área meridional destas montanhas verdes é possível ver parte do castelo de Rosalite e tudo que há pelo caminho. Então partiu.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
To the end. Você ainda tá me devendo uma bitoca.
Come on.
Linhagens.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely.
Tá.
Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
Stay down!
Já era. Deixa eu pegar um negocinho aqui rapidinho. Aí a gente desce aqui. Era aqui, beleza. Um item outro, alguns bichinhos, mas tá tranquilo, né? Para lá nós vamos ainda.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! Nothing we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. It would be a pity to make examples of you all for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, Your Lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
All right, I heard you the first time.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There've been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, the Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. You'd have to be dull as a sack of stone. Think you could take on the Empire? What with their 100 full legions?
Fale com alguns aldeões.
seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. You've seen them, didn't you? At least I think they was the Black Shields. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
Well, what do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harbouring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned them in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know. But we need to find out. Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another East Pool.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
Vamos lá. Olha, dá pra vir por... Tá, a gente volta por ali então, vai.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
Eu acho que não tem nada, não, tá de boa.
Ever since the Apollo tree, we've seen more and more of these echoes.
What do you think is waking them? The mother crystals collapse?
I have an idea. You're not going to like it.
Que já era. Gente. Tem alguma coisa. Tem uma galerinha ali. Liberei até um troféu fazendo isso. Fechou, bora lá.
More of my mother's men. Too slow.
Calma, filho, que isso? Tá, deixa eu só pegar o bagulho aqui. Entendi, ali tem um dragão. Na volta a gente passa por ele. Pra cá. O que tem aqui? Ali é o outro caminho, então a gente pode seguir em frente aqui. Acabou. Maravilha. Ali, o que é pra lá? Pra lá de onde a gente veio. Seguimos em frente. Show. Agora aqui. Ó. Que isso? Que susto! Que isso? Nossa! Filha da puta! Bora! Blood.
Clive.
Huh? Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
São vocês.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then? We owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again.
Você que sabe, filhote.
I'll show you a true shield of Rosaria. Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you. We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Ordeal. Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry.
Então bora rápido. É ali mesmo? Ah, é ali mesmo. Nossa. O lixo lapa. Tudo ao redor. Deixa eu só ver. 2.200. Caramba, ainda não.
Find something, boy. Death.
Santa.
Puta merda.
This was my mother's doing.
Nossa, que vaca.
But why? Why would anyone?
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
Putz. Vamos lá.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
I did, Mummy. I could hear him shouting from down the road.
Em comemoração,
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
I'm hungry.
Deixa eu só ver uma coisinha. Dá pra ir pela costa, né? Fechou aqui. Pronto. Bora, cidadezinha. O fio de seda.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better.
Ótimo, aí aqui. Ótimo.
That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Obelisco, tá tranquilo.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! Viceland's dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
Oh, get enough for everything!
Fuck off! Hang you chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all! I said, where were you, filth? Back to your stall! Cut you down where you stand! Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in.
Caramba. Tá, por ali não dá.
I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus. We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
No.
As long as it is abandoned.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
Viu? Ah, dá dinheirinho. Distrito Lázaro.
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Nossa, mas aqui...
Not abandoned then.
Oi!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
Shit.
Or not.
Pontapé na bunda.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died.
Olha, os carinha do começo. Os esquisitos.
Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son?
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we.
Make ready.
This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
Sim, eu gosto. Preciso de ação. Vamos lá.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
Telling me that's the Archduke's son.
In the flesh.
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buett Bridge, and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Oldale have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Pra cima.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Membros do grupo. Durante a missão principal, companheiros diferentes dispostos a ajudar poderão viajar com Clive. Porém, dependendo do destino, eles podem preferir permanecer no esconderijo. Tá. Eu acho que agora eu consigo fazer isso aqui. E partiu. É disso que eu tô falando. Aí. Aqui. E o que ele faz? Esse aqui eu não curti muito, né? Ele atinge os outros? Atinge, né? É isso aqui que eu vou querer. Tá, vamos lá.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village.
Ah, era aqui, ó. Tem que deixar
We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since. There they are. On your command, my lord.
Tô chegando, né?
What is it now? I told you! We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame. Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame! For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear. Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank! Another wyvern to fight their battle for them. Nice try.
More dragons.
Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
Wake up!
Que já era.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
Tranquilo. Ia gastar um negócio.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud! My, Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps.
Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
Seria da hora. Mission complete. Escudo e chama.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience, especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need.
I know. Go on now, my lord.
Porto Isolde, a província imperial de Rosaria. Mansão Rossfield.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint of the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster?
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. It's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. The nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. Besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Why then, Who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
She's like.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung a sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
Oh.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
É melhor você ir pra cima dele, porque esse cara aí, pelo amor de Deus. Tá louco.